All right, folks, the big stimulus news for the day is that Vice President Mike Pence, Chief of Staff Marc was on Bloomberg Radio yesterday, and he basically threw out the $1 trillion figure for the next stimulus relief bill that we'd heard about previously. He said that's the price tag the White House is looking for. Now, about a month ago, Peter Navarro, Trump's Director of Trade and Manufacturing, threw out a $2 trillion figure. But as we've talked about before here on the channel, Washington Post reported that it looks like many in the Trump administration, many in the White House, think that Navarro potentially spoke out of turn when he threw out that $2 trillion figure, okay? So it looks like $1 trillion is the best number we have so far, at least as far as the White House is concerned. We know that McConnell has thrown out a $1 trillion figure before, so it looks like maybe the Republicans are of the same mind, right? Both White House Republicans and Senate Republicans with respect to how large the next relief package should be. But of course, it's all talk at this point, right? I mean, Navarro publicly came out and said 2 trillion. Short yesterday said 1 trillion. I mean, it's all really talk, right? We won't know until we actually see a bill. But if it's a $1 trillion bill, how much does this really leave for stimulus checks, right? Another round of CARES Act-like stimulus checks would be $300 billion. So, kind of deducing here, what if they do make the next round of stimulus checks more targeted? Let's say only for those 40,000 or under in income, to kind of go off what McConnell was saying earlier this week. Let's say that cuts the bill for the stimulus checks in half to 150 billion. Well, that leaves a bit more room, 850 billion, to do everything else that Democrats and Republicans will hopefully agree on, right? Aid to state and local governments, liability protection, maybe some more business funding, and all that good stuff, right? Right? Yes. So we'll have to see. Of course, it's all talk at this point. We don't really know for sure what we're going to be looking at until Republicans release a bill, which they'll hopefully do in the next couple of weeks, at least according to McConnell. July 20th. That's when everyone's back in town, all right? So that's the date to look for. And you know, as much as we like to talk about, you know, these congressmen and women taking a break right now over the past couple of weeks, I mean, they will be doing some work, right? Obviously, they're going to be meeting with people in their home states, right? Their constituents. But Chuck Grassley, for example, Republican senator from Iowa, he's the head of the Senate Finance Committee, the chairman. He said he's going to be holding calls over the next couple of weeks with members of the committee, right, about the next coronavirus relief bill. So they are doing some work. What do you see, honey? You see a dog? Oh yeah, there's a dog. See the dog? And here's what Grassley said. He said there's going to be consultation in the next 2 weeks among my staff and the staff of my members. I have made no decisions. I guess he'd have to assume everything is on the table. Well, that's kind of been our assumption, right, for a while. That's the big stimulus news for the day. There's some this and that's as well. Trump was on Twitter this morning. Basically, it seemed like he was threatening to remove federal funding for schools if they don't reopen. He tweeted, "The Dems think it would be bad for them politically if U.S. schools open before the November election, but it is important for the children and families. May cut off funding if not open." That seems a little counterproductive though, right? To say, you know, it's important for children and families for the schools to reopen, but then to threaten in the next breath to cut off funding for them. It seems a little strange to me. I don't know, let me know what you think. In a separate tweet, Trump said he disagreed with the CDC on their very tough and expensive guidelines for opening schools. While they want them open, they're asking schools to do very impractical things. Trump said he will be meeting with the CDC on that issue. In terms of COVID, the U.S. reported 60,000 new cases yesterday. That is a record. Although cases are on the rise in most states, the increase has largely been driven in several states such as Florida, Oklahoma, Arizona, Texas, and California. Mostly southern and western states. Yeah, you see people? Oh, he's got a stormtrooper hat, huh? You hear the dog? In response to this, the Trump administration says that they will be opening new surge coronavirus testing sites in some of the hardest hit communities in Florida, Texas, and Louisiana. Jacksonville, Florida, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Edinburgh, Texas. The surge will last between 5 and 12 days. And the sites will be able to conduct up to 5,000 tests per day in each city. Should take between 3 and 5 days for someone who is tested to get their results. All right, folks, that's basically the stimulus update for today. The big stimulus news was that it looks like the $1 trillion figure is making the headlines again, at least from the White House's perspective. We know that Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has expressed support for a $1 trillion figure for the next stimulus bill in the past. So looks like that's where it might be from the Republican standpoint. That doesn't mean it's going to be what it is, right? Who knows? We don't know anything really until we actually see a bill. Maybe that's just a Republican starting point. Dems negotiate them upwards. Do the Dems control the House? Really don't know. But thanks so much for watching. All right, folks, that's it for today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, a button in the right-hand corner of the screen should pop up right now. And a button in the left-hand corner of the screen should pop up right now to subscribe to the family channel to see more of our family life. And this guy, also some videos in the bottom of the screen that I would recommend you check out. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.